Weltenburger Kloster Kellerbier.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I've got one here from, arguably, the oldest brewery in the world. Now, some might say that the Weihenstephaner brewery is the oldest. There is a dispute, and even though it's widely regarded that the Weihenstephaner brewery is the oldest, these lot, I think they've probably got a better claim to that title. The Weihenstephaner documents that they are using to prove that they are the oldest have been, or there's speculation that they're forgeries from the 16th century, and this lot genuinely are the oldest. Weihenstephaner at 1040 AD, this lot at 1050. So, and there is genuine proof to say that they've been brewing the beer there since that time. So I'm not going to get involved in that argument. I say this on all these Weltenburger reviews. I'm not going to get involved in that. Doesn't really matter to me if they're old. All that matters to me if the beer is good. So far, all the stuff from Weltenburger has been exceptional. They really do some fantastic beer. I would recommend their Doppelbock for starters. That was just out of this world. That was amazing stuff. They do quite a nice Weizen. They do a very nice Helles. And this is their Kellerbier. Now, I've been drinking a fair bit of Kellerbier recently. I've been sessioning the Hacker-Shore Kellerbier, which is really good. Really did enjoy that. And I have Zoom meetings now. And when I order from Beers of Europe, I don't know why, but I never order it, but Beers of Europe always put in a bottle of Kellerbier. And I don't know why. But I'm not complaining. But there you go. And that for me at the moment is my favourite Kellerbier. Now I've tried other Kellerbiers which have been reasonably good. The Einger Kellerbier, very nice indeed. Who is the other one? Oh, the Paulaner stuff wasn't bad at all. There is, how can I put this? I sort of lump Kellerbier and Zwickel beer in the same category because effectively they are the same style of beer. Zwickel beer is, for all intents and purposes, it's just a slightly lower ABV version of a Kellerbier. And Zwickel comes from the tap, the sampling tap that you get on the barrels, not so much now, but you do get them actually. I've seen them on the modern barrels, but the brewmaster would go around sampling the beer, see if it was very ready, if the fermentation was complete, and that's where it is. So Zwickel beer is the pure unadulterated version of the beer before filtration, and Kellerbier is more or less the same thing as well. And this is how beer was served, hundreds of years ago in Germany. It wasn't filtered. It did have a haze to it. And if you look on this here, most Kellerbiers have this. It's a Naturtrüb, which in German effectively means cloudy beer. So with that in mind, let's investigate this beer. Okie dokie, 500ml bottle. It is 5%, and it is a Kellerbier. This brewery is from Bavaria, so naturally it conforms to the Reinheitsgebot. If you look at the ingredients, it says Wasser, which is water, Gersten malt, which is malted barley, Hopfen, which is hops, and Hefe, which is yeast. So there you go. It's got a serving temperature of 8 degrees. This is roughly about that. That's a little over chilled in my estimation, and that's about it really. They're very, and this is what, and I say this on all of these, but this is what genuine monastery breweries do. the labels are very understated. They don't go in for the marketing crap with the pictures of the monks and everything like that. It's the old, who was it? I can't remember who it was. Was it Freud? I don't know. But one of these modern philosophers came up with the phrase, the more you know, the less you need to show, which is so true when it comes to these sort of brewers. Certainly these as well. So, with that in mind, let's get it open. Right, there's the cap before I do. If this autofocus. Do you know what? I have seen other YouTubers with having problems with autofocus, so I've calmed down a little bit now. It's not just me. That's all good. I will not lose the plot like I used to. Right, what we're getting in ye oldie glass. I'll tell you something, this glass is dirty, I can see that from here, and that is disgusting. Do apologise, you're probably going to see some bubbles sticking to the side. Oh, I can smell it from here, it smells absolutely gorgeous. There, look, there's your bubble sticking to the side. Do apologise for that. Kellerbier, I have noticed a characteristic of Kellerbier. It does have a slightly sour flavour to it, and that's the yeast that gives it that. But I really like sour beer anyway, so it doesn't bother me. So if you think of this as a very, very subtly, most beer drinkers probably wouldn't get that. You know, I'm saying, when I say beer drinkers, average lager drinkers wouldn't get that, but it is there, I do get that. What are we getting on the nose? Wow, it just tastes like a really good, it just smells like a really good Helles from Bavaria. Lovely sweet malt, sweet grainy type malt, little touch of that honey sweetness that comes from the yeast. Then you do get a slight touch of the herbal notes from the hops that are in here. No doubt these hops would have come from the Hallertau region, which supplies almost all the brewers in the locality, and further afield in Germany as well, and you know, abroad too. They do ship the hops from Hallertau abroad. You really should look. There's a documentary about the hop fields in Hallertau, the Hallertau region, largest hop growing region in the world. Really should check that out if you like your beer. Not so much your beer history, but the science involved in brewing. There's a lot on that, and you'll see just how serious the Germans take brewing. Probably the most serious brewers in the world, and it shows with their beer. Let's hope this beer is not going to make me into a liar. Zum Wohl, or Prost, whatever you want to say, as they say in Germany. Oh, that's really nice. That is really good. We dive in again. That was mostly froth, but still good. Yeah. If you can imagine a really good Helles, a really good German Helles, but then imagine it with a hell of a lot more body and slightly more intense flavour, with a very subtle sour note across the top, you've got this nailed. And this is very characteristic of German Kellerbier. Oh, it's really good. That is a really good Kellerbier. I have to say though, I don't think it's as good as the Hacker-Shaw stuff, but it's still really good, don't get me wrong. It is a really good Kellerbier. Now, I've tasted craft brewed Kellerbier, and quite frankly, it just doesn't come anywhere close to this. Craft brewed Kellerbier, I mean, that's come from the United Kingdom and other parts of Europe, and it really just doesn't come close to it. this for me. I know these are the oldest brewery in the world, or one of them, and you know they're going to have a little bit more experience. But I don't know. I'm not going to go into a rant about craft beer. But shall I or shall I? No, I won't. I won't do it. It's not fair. Not fair on the craft brewers because, you know, especially in times like this, they are trying to make a living. So I'm not going to knock them for that. You know, if you want to buy a craft beer, fucking crack on, help them out. Sadly, I just really can't afford it. There you go. Let's get back to this anyway. What you really do find with Kellerbier is that it is so drinkable. It's as drinkable as a lager, which that is too. And this does have the drinkability of a good Helles, but I just find the flavour is more intense, and that's, of course, that's going to happen with all the sediment and the yeast floating about in there. So this is a really good one, I have to say. Very nice indeed. A very good example of Kellerbier. And I'm just looking across the top here, and I can see little specks of yeast sediments in there. Yeah, lovely. Really nice. So what's the verdict on Weltenburger Kloster Kellerbier? Yeah, that is a really nice example. I do like Kellerbier, and I can tell a good one from a bad one. And this is definitely a good one. Now, as I said before, I don't think it's as good as the Hacker-Shaw stuff, but it's possibly on a par with the Iinga stuff. So that got a 10 out of 10, the Iinga Kellerbier. I'm really debating whether to give this a 10 or a 9.5. I'd be really cruel if I gave it a 9.5. I'm gonna have to give it a 10. It just really is. This is what I like. You know, it's lager, but with a bit more than lager. You know, in the summer, don't get me wrong, this is quite refreshing in the summer, but lager is, for me, or Helles, or even Pilsner as well, for me, is the most refreshing beer you can have in the summer. People can argue about IPAs all they want, but for me, it's lager all day long, supremely drinkable, very refreshing. This takes lager to another level. It's just more full-bodied, more flavour intense. Again, the slightly sour note, but it's lager and a bit more, if you know what I mean. And as I say, very good example. And that for me is a 10 out of 10. And remember, beer is working class champagne.